Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Focal Plane podcast. We've got a very special guest with us today who's actually been here before under a different business name, Techie Business Services. But today we have Waite for Managing Reviews. So
Hi,
welcome.
Sam. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And look, it's great to have you back. And I love the idea of managing reviews, and I really want to kind of help spread actually what it is that you do, because I think it solves a really, really important problem for a lot of businesses. And certainly I've signed up to it in the way that anyone can. So this isn't a paid promotion by any stretch of the imagination. But I'd love to just hear about where this has all come from and why managing reviews is so critical.
Absolutely. Oh, well, thanks a lot for having me on again, Sam. Yes, so really, with Techie Business Services, we're doing a lot of local digital marketing for local businesses.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we were finding all the time is that they were not effectively using their reviews. They were, and not even always asking for reviews, but when they got them, more by luck than anything else, they were doing nothing with them. And they were scattered all over the place. So what we've really done is we've actually decided to launch a bit of software that will help local business owners get more reviews on the different review platforms. And there are over 600 out there.
Wow.
Okay. I know, globally. We've only integrated with 25 so far.
Sure.
But we're adding more every week. And so that they can therefore ask for reviews easily on different platforms.
Yeah.
And then what we do is we actually bring them all together and they can show them on their website. Even asking for somebody to give you a Google review is almost impossible to find where you actually do it. That Google does not make it easy.
No, and you have to have I've had this issue before. People have asked me to do it, and it's okay, and they may even find a link to send me. Great, I click on the link. Oh, you have to sign in with your Gmail. I'm not signed in. I'm on a different browser. I'm something else. And do you know what? How likely is it that I'm going to spend the time to now undo all of that, unpick it, and go back into my Gmail? Not so likely. So
the only time you are likely to do it is if you've got a negative review coming your way.
Quite. Yes. Quite so. But that's the thing. So there's already lots of barriers, even to that process of just being able to write a review.
Absolutely.
So absolutely, this is something that removing these barriers in any way that we can seems like a really good, smart idea.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
So what we do is, what people can do is we will set them up and then we put a bit of code on their website and it gives them a page on their website where they will have a direct link to Google, Facebook, Yelp, any of the other platforms that they want to get reviews on. So it makes it simple. Then they can actually go onto their dashboard, literally put in the first name and email address. Email goes out asking people for reviews. Or they can do it once a month, uploading all of their new customers. So it's very straightforward and simple. That's the key to it.
Yeah, and have you had any feedback or anything that you've learned already in this journey in that business in terms of what's working in terms of bringing those reviews together? Are there any pitfalls that people should be mindful of in terms of having lots of different platforms with lots of different reviews scattered all around the place, albeit you are bringing them together? Is there anything that's kind of been early learning for you in that respect?
Yeah, what surprised us is actually people don't realise they got reviews in different places.
Yeah.
They think they've just got them in Google and maybe Facebook. But we were working with a pub down in near Exeter, and he didn't realise he had Yelp reviews.
Okay.
He didn't realise he had TripAdvisor reviews. So we then brought them all together on his website, and he just went, "Wow!" But it did also identify one other thing: is that where you can, people need to respond to their reviews.
Of course. Yeah.
And if you don't know you've got them, how can you respond to them?
No, and it's not a good look, right? I mean, I've certainly something I've definitely been guilty of in the past, where I've not even realised or remembered that reviews come through, and you see it sat there going 3 months, 4 months without a reply.
Yeah.
And hey, look, that doesn't look good for somebody who's trying to look at your reviews prospectively to understand what's going on, but particularly that person who's taken the time to leave a review. Let's say hopefully they're all very good ones, but in that case, hey, that's something excellent they've done for you that deserves some acknowledgement.
It's at least a courtesy to reply. And actually, Google does track it as to how long it is before you reply. I don't think it's a ranking factor, but I think it's a factor that Google says if somebody's had the politeness to leave you a review, at least you could do is respond. It is important.
God, yeah, we don't think about these things.
No.
That everything is being scrutinised and tracked with all sorts of corners at the moment.
Everything. Yeah. On everything.
But it's a crazy thing, isn't it? Because, these days, everything we do, be it consciously or subconsciously, we're looking at reviews, right? So, I mean, just a random example. The other week, I had a job up in London. I knew I needed to drive there. I wasn't familiar with the area. It's around London Bridge. I've not really driven there before. I had to look at parking spaces, right? Parking NCP car parks, whatever. And the first thing I do is obviously go on Google, you search. And actually what I'm doing is looking at the reviews of the car park.
Absolutely.
It's a car park, but I'm looking at the Google reviews.
It's not like a restaurant.
No, exactly. But I'm going, actually, and of course, I'm going to take the one that's got the higher stars, even if it's a bit further away and potentially a bit more inconvenient, just because it gives me that sense of, well, my car's less likely to get scratched up then, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Versus the one that either has not very good reviews or reviews, like you say, that have been left unattended or unresponded to, or are just something about it isn't feeling right. I'm looking far more at that than the actual practicalities or the logistics or anything else.
It's the latest sort of word of mouth.
Yes.
It's the word of mouth referral in effect.
So how key is it to get that right, but also how great is it for business owners to be able to say, okay, they're all in one place now. I don't have to log on to 1,000 different platforms. I don't need to remind myself or set a system or process up to have to look and respond to all of these in haphazard ways, and things happen, life gets in the way.
Absolutely.
You forget for a couple of months and whoops, okay, I'm back to where I was before.
Correct.
So you talked about how managing reviews puts a widget on the website that helps bring all this together. So how does that work exactly? Is it that would there be, if someone's got, I don't know, they're on 20 of those however many hundred platforms, is that just a list of all those 20 with all the reviews coming through? Or is it all just the latest ones that come in? Or how is that done?
You can have as many as you want.
Okay.
I mean, we don't really recommend more than about 50 on the website.
Sure.
And then it just revolves around
Yeah.
with all the latest reviews. New one comes in overnight or during the day. The next day it will be added to the widget, so it then just rotates with the newest reviews.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where they are, whether it's Facebook or Google or TripAdvisor, they will all be shown together in one place. Okay. You can't obviously hide your negative reviews because that's not allowed. But the key with a negative review is always to respond again.
Yeah.
And trying to be engaging or empathetic with the person who's left the review.
Yeah. I mean, look, as much as, we dread ever having to get a negative review or a 1-star review or something, just as we get those 5-star reviews, there's as much learning from those as there is from the ones that come that are not so good. Now, of course, hey, look, there could be all sorts of factors behind why that might be, but the key thing is to have that engagement. So,
absolutely.
Because there could well be, even if you, in your mind and minds, if it's your own business, of course, you feel these things personally, don't you? But ultimately, okay, what can I learn from this? Where has the client journey not quite gone as it should have done? But you don't get that if you've got a 1-star review in a platform you don't even realize you're on. That's a whole different world of trouble, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
I can just see that. I can see nightmare scenarios where those things spiraling, where other people go and say, "Oh, they're not even responding to this. They must not care." Blah blah blah. So it's great to. I hope I never encounter this scenario. Touch wood. Maybe it will happen one day.
It does.
Maybe it will happen one day. But it is encouraging to know that if that comes through, there's a mechanism in place by which, okay, I know about it. I'm there. I can contextualize it. I can respond to it.
Yes.
Rather than finding out 3 months after the fact.
And we'll actually help people and advise on what they should be doing. But definitely respond. Be empathetic. Try and take it offline.
Yeah.
We've already had examples where somebody wrote a 1-star review for a restaurant. They went back and explained the situation. They were very apologetic.
Yeah.
And actually the person who wrote the review changed it.
Yeah.
Changed it to a 3-star, which is better than a 1-star.
Sure. Okay.
And so that sort of thing is always worth doing.
Yeah.
Don't just think, oh, well, I've got a 1-star. Bury your head in the sand like an ostrich.
Yeah.
It's not like that at all. You need to actually be proactive.
Yeah. And in the same way, you wouldn't do that if a client was coming to you face to face and having this conversation. You wouldn't just bury your head in the sand to just walk away from it. You'd have that. You'd have it in a way that was conducive to whatever the issue was. And
totally.
Like you say, taking it offline, makes a whole world of sense. You don't want a slagging match going on across
definitely not
across a review platform. That's why make things worse.
The other thing we've got to remember is also that as a reader of reviews, naturally we all sort of discount the top 10%, discount the bottom 10%, and see what's going on in the middle.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you've got a couple of 1-star reviews, so long as you've handled it correctly, and it's not like you're a restaurant and I've ended up with food poisoning 3 times, then, it's actually people will say, fine, okay, well, the chef was sick or something like that. People will understand. But if you don't respond, then it just sits there as a negative in the ether.
But that's an interesting point that you make about the whole, we do, in fact, take more of a notice of those middle of the road ones. So, because as happens, anyone who's done any shopping on any online platform will know that there's a whole kind of trust element about even where some of these reviews are coming from.
Yes.
So if you're getting a plethora of 5-star reviews, but there are a few that are a little bit kind of mixed in, you're going to hone in on those.
Yes.
And to understand, okay, well, the likelihood is that this was coming from a genuine customer, even whether or not I trust the others or not. But okay, so then it's equally important to make sure that we are on top of the middling reviews as well as the the 1 stars or the thumbs down or whatever.
Yeah.
And have you seen any other examples where actually being very proactive on these platforms has either helped businesses with the review side of things or otherwise?
Definitely. One of the things that, and this really comes back to why one of the reasons we developed Managing Reviews was to say, you've earned all that trust as a business and you're then just leaving it on one place.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You need to actually then promote it. Why not put it out on social media that you've got a new 5-star review? Why not put it on your website that you've got a new 5-star review? Just be proactive about it. You've gone through that whole process of delivering the service. They're happy with it. Why not publicize it?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know
it's a no-brainer in that regard.
It's so true. And we don't think about things that way. I mean, I certainly don't. Naturally, you kind of think, great, and you move on with your day.
Yes.
But actually, no, that should be celebrated. You've done something great for somebody who's really appreciated it.
Totally.
So, and yeah, of course, that's going to build more trust and build more traction. So yeah, great insight.
It all becomes self-fulfilling.
Yeah.
And also, it all surprises me how few people don't have asking for a review built into their whole process. So really, as a business owner, you should be thinking, right, okay, I've pitched the business, I've won the business, I've done the job.
Yeah.
I've invoiced them. Now I need to ask them for a review. So long as you feel comfortable, you might get a good review. But then ask them for a review.
Yeah.
And very few people have it in their process. And so that's, again, what we're trying to do is we're trying to help people. We will send out a reminder each month. Have you had any new customers this month? Do you want to ask them for a review?
Yeah.
Easy. Go in, log in. You can send the emails out.
Great.
So it's just try to make sure that your business owners are always capturing those positive feedback.
And actually on that, so if you, you're absolutely right. And I think making sure that, it's great that you help people to, remind them, but it just keeps it at the forefront of their mind. But let's say we're going through that process and I'm sending, or I want to send out some emails to ask for these reviews. And let's say, for example, that I'm on a plethora of different platforms. How does that work then? So would the client at the end of that email be able to select one, or are you encouraging more towards some than others, or how does that work?
Okay, so the way it works is that in the email there'll be a link to go to their website and then the page they'll go to is /write a review.
Yeah.
And on there, the business owner can decide which platforms they want to ask for reviews on.
Sure.
So it might be Google, it might be Good Garage Scheme if you're a garage, or WebMD if you're a doctor in America, for example. And so they can have what platforms they want to ask for reviews on. Yeah. So they won't put all of them up there. There'll just be the 2 or 3 that they want to get reviews on. Click on that, takes them straight through so that they can then write the review there.
Okay, so that's helpful. So then, because indeed there will be different industries for which different platforms make a bigger difference, right?
Absolutely.
So, and different businesses also doing different arms of work. So if you give some examples of restaurants owners or garages, etc., that may have specific areas that they really want to target, but they may be branching out. They may be doing other elements of work that might suit a different platform.
Yes.
Not just generically going to ones that necessarily suit what is obviously at the forefront of their business. So it's great to have that option and great to be able to tailor it as well.
Absolutely. And actually, the more platforms you're getting reviews on, the better, because all of the sort of search engines and the large language models are looking for multiple places.
Yes.
So it's always good to get them not just on one,
Yeah.
but on multiple platforms is always a good thing.
I mean, even the algorithms aside, again, when we just naturally as consumers or potential clients of a business, when we are hunting things on a certain platform, here's a business that's coming up. Well, the first thing we're going to do is Google them a bit more, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Right. So then it's going to be even better if then we do that, and suddenly there's a plethora of other favorable reviews that are coming up from multiple different sources.
Yes.
And again, that is about the trust building, just the social proof that actually, no, this isn't just something that's contained in one area. And the credibility, because we touched on this before, where look, there may be some elements where we can't even necessarily trust some of the reviews that come on websites. But if you have those multiple platforms, multiple different areas and multiple different guises, it's going to be much more in your favor to have
totally,
that,
totally,
100%.
Yeah.
And it's only advice then you might give to, say, business owners who are maybe struggling to kind of get to grips with this. So as in, let's say they have the standard thing of Google reviews, but they're not quite sure where to start in terms of expanding that out, or what sort of processes they may need to be looking at, particularly new business owners who are just kind of finding their feet on this. Any tidbits in that from yourself?
Google is the big one, that's for sure. But it's becoming less so because people are moving away often from Google search. They're using things like ChatGPT or Google Gemini now. But Google is still the big one out there.
Yeah.
After that, then it's really, where is your audience? A lot of businesses do a lot of things on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook have got reviews on there as well. It could be that you want a specialist area. If you're a lawyer, there are specific lawyer platforms. But it's wherever your target audience is really where you should be looking to get more reviews on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Yell, for example, people could leave reviews on Yell. It's not the overly popular one, but some people love it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
therefore, if that's where people are searching for it, then that's a good place to do it. Good garage scheme. If you're a service, if you're looking to MOT your car, good garage scheme is probably one of the ones you might look at.
Yeah, if you've got just even if you've got one review on Yell or wherever it is, I mean, first of all, if you don't know it's there, that's a problem. But B, if you find out that it's there, then okay, think about that. So why has somebody gone and left a review favorably on this particular platform? Is that something you're missing out on?
Yeah.
Should that be something you actually, or an entire target audience potentially?
And encourage people. Encourage people on different platforms. Absolutely.
Excellent. So I mean, that's it sounds like a really comprehensive service. So I'm first of all, I'm really glad that I've signed up to it because as has been pointed out to me, there's a few reviews in places that I've not been aware of. So that's really helpful to have. But just having that kind of, oh great, that's a bit of a peace of mind to know that, okay, on my website are going to be the reviews coming through. My clients or potential clients are going to be able to see that. They're going to see that it's drawn out from Google rather than me kind of typing it in as a testimonial, etc.
And people don't trust those.
No.
Because you could put anything
exactly. Oh, Bob said this or whatever. Who knows where that's come from? But if it's actually being directly drawn up from the platform itself, okay, then at least we can trust that it's come from the platform itself. Whatever other thought you might have is up to you, but at least there's that. So having that, knowing that they're coming through, most recent, most current, able to respond to them, but also going forward, knowing that we can go, okay, do you know what? I may be rubbish at asking people for reviews, or I don't have a necessarily defined process. Great, there's one that's there for me.
Absolutely.
And I can access that whenever, however frequently, etc. So, and I think it's a great thing, and it solves a huge problem that a lot of us just either tear our hair out about or just bury our head in the sand with.
Don't even think about. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, brilliant. Well, Philip, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you very much, Sam.
And how can people find out a bit more about managing reviews?
Just go to managingreviews.co.uk.
Fantastic.
It's all up there. And you can even actually now go on there and you can type in your information, type in where you think you've got reviews, and it will actually show you an example of what it will look like.
Okay.
So
good,
it's quite a nice way of doing it.
Brilliant. Well, Philip, thanks so much for coming on.
No problem at all.
Yeah, look, I'd say I'm looking forward to it all coming online for me as well. And brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam, indeed.
Awesome.